This hour of the Dave Ramsey Show is brought to you by Tracker. Tired of losing your keys, wallet, and phone? That's why you need Tracker. Go to thetracker.com, enter promo code TRACK to get a free Tracker Bravo with any order. Thetracker.com, promo code TRACK.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Claudia is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Claudia, how are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I am in baby step number 2 right now, and I owe about $120,000 on my house, but it's worth about $195,000. And I was wondering if it was a good idea to refinance and use the money that they would give me to pay off all of my, it would pretty much pay off about 85 to 90% of my debt.
How much debt do you have, not counting your home?
About $45,000.
Mm-hmm. And what is that on?
Credit cards and car.
How much of that's car?
12.
Okay. And what's your household income?
About 100.
Okay. So how quick do you think you could pay off 45 if you don't do this?
It'd probably take me about a year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what I would do. I'd just pay it off.
Really? I mean, I'm thinking about, well, I've been talking to the mortgage
Well, listen,
person,
here's the thing. Listen to me, okay? At the end of the year, you're either going to have $45,000 worth of debt on your home extra,
mm-hmm.
or you're going to have no debt other than your home. I like no debt other than your home. See, moving it to your mortgage doesn't do anything. It's just moving it. The P is still under one of the shells.
Yeah, but I'm planning on selling the house too in a couple of years.
When you sell the house, you'll put more money in your pocket because you paid off your debt. Listen, if you want to do this, go do it, but I think it's a really dumb idea. Because here's the thing. The debt is not the problem. It's the symptom of stuff that's been going on in your life, like credit cards and buying a car you couldn't afford. And you're fixing the problem by getting on a budget, living on less than you make, and addressing it head on and cutting up the credit cards. You're going to make you deal with you by working through this debt. If you move it over onto the house, your habits won't change, and you will keep borrowing money. 88% of the people that use debt consolidation on their homes continue the same habits, and 9 out of 10 times end up with more debt, not less, as a result of this.
Okay.
Don't do it. You asked, and I answered. Brian is with us in Tampa. Hey, Brian, what's up?
Not much. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve, man. How can I help?
Well, I'm a military member stationed in Tampa, and I've moved around in my career. I've picked up houses as I've moved.
I bet.
And,
landlord by default.
I have 4 that are rent out, and I've gone through all the baby steps, and so I'm good on that part, but now I don't know what to do with these rentals. They're all cash flow positive, but my total mortgage debt on all 5 of my houses is $1.1 million, and I got about $1.5 million in equity across the 5 of them.
That's amazing. Congratulations. So you're a millionaire.
Kind of, except for the $1.1 million in debt that I owe.
Well, no, I thought you said you had $1.5 million equity.
I do. So
that would be a millionaire. That'd be a millionaire. Equity is if you sold the houses, you'd have $1.5 million in your pocket, right?
No, I'd have $400,000. So they're worth $1 million.
Okay, you don't know what equity means then.
Right.
Equity is what goes in your pocket if you sell it.
Right.
And so you have $400,000 in equity. You have value of $1.5 million.
Yes.
The value, they're worth $1.5 million. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not cash flowing much. Barely.
No, about a couple $100 a month on all of them.
And by the time a heat and air unit goes out and one's empty here and there, you're basically breaking even at the end of the year. You're not making any real money on this.
No.
No. And you got $1 million in debt and you're not making any money.
Nothing
about this sounds fun to me. On top of that, they're scattered all over the dadgum United States, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah, it makes it hard to manage. So you didn't set out to do this. This happened by default. You bought a house and moved, bought a house and moved, bought a house and moved every time the military moved you, and by default you've ended up with rental properties scattered all over the United States. You would not have sat down at your kitchen table and go, you know what, I'm going to buy a rental property in 9 different cities. No, you didn't sit down and do that.
Well, funny enough, not on the first one, because I bought that before the market went down, but then the second one, I came from a realtor family. My mom and grandpa both realtors, and I thought that would be a good idea to start collecting houses.
Yeah, I did too.
Because, of course,
I did too.
Of course, as a military, they give me a really good rate and very little money down. So I started doing that, but now I'm like, maybe that's not such a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not going to panic in this situation, but if you sat down and didn't own any property at your table, and you're sitting at your kitchen table, and you had a pile of $400,000 in the middle of the table, I doubt your wealth-building strategy would be to invest that $400,000 in multiple different cities, in multiple different properties, and barely cash flow.
Right.
I don't think that would be your strategy.
No, it wouldn't.
And so if that's the case, then I would undo the strategy. And again, we don't need to panic here. I would just say, how many properties are involved?
5, including the one I live in, so 4 rentals.
4. Okay. We'll put 2 of them on the market. When they sell, put the other 2 on the market. What's your home worth?
The current one I live in is about $420.
What do you owe on it?
$320.
Perfect. So you could be debt-free, house and everything, when you sell these 4.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes. And I love rentals. I grew up in a realtor family, too. I like rental real estate, but I don't like debt. And you have, these things are pretty leveraged. We know that because you don't have a ton of equity percentage-wise. You got about a 25%, 30% equity position percentage-wise, which tells me, based on normal mortgage rates and normal rental rates, that you're not really making any money. And normal expenses and normal vacancies and so on. Really, at the end of the day, you're not really cash flowing much. And so you got $1 million worth of risk for very little return. And I'd rather be sitting there with my home completely paid for. And, oh, by the way, when you move this time, sell it. And thank you for your service to the country. We appreciate you. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ashley is on Twitter. Is it ever a good idea to borrow against your 401k? No. Now, let me tell you why. 2 major problems with borrowing on your 401k. The biggest one is that when you leave your company, because you die, get a better job, or they fire you, the 401k loan is considered due in full, and if you don't repay it in 60 days, they hit you with taxes and the penalty as well, the 10% penalty on top of that. But in the meantime, your good mutual funds in your 401k are unplugged, and you're only paying yourself 4, 5, 6% instead of making good returns on your 401k. No, do not borrow on your 401k, ever. Ever. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Replacing lost items not only costs you time, but it could cost you a whole lot of money. That's why you need Tracker. Tracker is a coin-sized device that locates misplaced keys, wallets, bags, computers, anything in seconds. Just pair your Tracker device to your smartphone, attach it to anything, and find its location with a tap of a button. It's that easy. So stop losing your stuff today. Go to thetracker.com, enter promo code TRACK, and you'll get a free Tracker Bravo with any order. Thetracker.com. Promo code TRACK.
Thanks for for being with us, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Thank you to all of you in Los Angeles that came out for the Entree Leadership event yesterday. It was huge. About 1,500 business leaders there. And what a great day. It was a great crowd. We're in the Pasadena Theater there, Civic Center, and a really nice theater, really nice event and quality situation, and man, it was just great. So we just flew over and right back, got in late last night, and of course then back in the saddle today. So thank you, Los Angeles. We appreciate that. Tonight in Cincinnati, Rachel Cruz and Les Parrott will have 2,000 people at the Marriage and Money event, a date night worth investing in, and huge event there. And those of you that have tickets, I suspect you ought to get there early. There's going to be a lot of people there. Like I say, we've sold over 2,000 tickets to that, and it's a great, great event. So Rachel Cruz, Les Parrott tonight in Cincinnati. Marriage and Money. Good times. And, of course, next week we're going to be running around all over the place. Christy Wright's book tour kicks off with Business Boutique, and man, oh man, is there a lot of stuff going on. We are going to be a little bit of everywhere. We'll be doing the Smart Money event in Atlanta. We will be doing Business Boutique one-day events in Atlanta and San Antonio. And then on Saturday, we will have the San Antonio Smart Conference all day. And there are some tickets left for the Business Boutique one-day events. I think the Smart Money event is sold out for Atlanta, and the Smart Conferences are both San Antonio and Phoenix the next 2 weekends. I think there's just like 50 tickets left each one. They're basically sold out. So thank you. I think there's 5,000 people coming to each of those, and then the Smart Money is, I think it's 3,000, almost 4,000 coming in Atlanta. So thank you guys for that. We appreciate you turning out for these events. We love flying around the country and showing up and teaching, and Christy and I will love teaching the Business Boutique one-days in Atlanta and San Antonio as well. So lots of live event things happening in the next 14 days or so, 17 days. I mean, there's a ton happening here the last 2 weeks of April as we kick this book tour off. Some of it's integrated with that, and some of it is other stuff as well. And then we head down into May. A lot of things happening in May. So check for the live events at daveramsey.com. Click on live events. You'll be able to find out everything that's going on there. But thanks to those of you that came out in L.A. yesterday. We really, really appreciate it. Steve is with us in Los Angeles. Hey, Steve, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking this call.
Sure.
My wife and I are struggling with an issue right now. We're both 59 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We have paid off all of our debt except for our mortgage
mm-hmm.
on our home.
Mm-hmm.
And our home is worth about $2.4 million.
Phenomenal.
Well, we're in California, so that
mm-hmm.
has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Our mortgage is about $335,000.
Wow! Congratulations!
So
you guys have done
equity.
Very well.
Yeah. The problem we have is we haven't really saved a lot for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
We right now, in terms of retirement savings, we probably have about $500,000 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question that we're struggling with is, should we knuckle down and really go after that mortgage, or just keep paying the mortgage regularly and knuckle down and really put the money into retirement savings?
Yeah, if you're going to keep the home and plan to live in it in retirement, then I'm going to knuckle down on it. I'd be putting 15% of your income towards retirement. What's your household income?
Household income varies because I'm self-employed. I pay myself.
Roughly. What do you pay taxes on in a year?
It varies again year to year, but I'm running usually around $200,000 or a little more.
Yeah, and so 15% of that then would be $30,000 a year savings, in addition to your $500 going into retirement, and then every other dollar I can squeeze out of my life, I'm going to throw at this house, and I'd love to see you pay that house off in about 3 or 4 years.
Well, that would be nice to do.
Yeah, you're going to cut your lifestyle to do that, but at that point you're going to be 65 years old and have a paid-for house worth $2.5 million, and you'll have about $700,000 or $800,000 in retirement at that point.
Yeah.
And that sets you up pretty good. You've got percentage-wise, as you said, it's a California issue, but percentage-wise you got too much tied up in your house. But that's okay if you want to live there, but we need to get it paid off if you're going to stay there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we're struggling with, too, because the kids are all gone now. we're to the point where as we get a little bit older, it's a 2-story house. We're thinking about moving to a 1-story and that type of thing. So, that figures into the mix. But right now we're looking at a kind of a 10-year horizon for that.
Yeah.
So,
What's your end game on the business?
A friend of mine kind of shared his wisdom with me, and I agree. We're both in the same industry. He says, I'll retire when they lower me in a hole in the ground.
So you're planning on staying there in that area to continue to run this business?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's cool. That's what I'm going to do. So I just want to make sure, because you're going to need a place to live that is still in California. So we're not going to, go from a Los Angeles real estate market to an Austin, Texas real estate market or a Nashville, Tennessee market, which is half.
Right.
And so that changes, some of your decision-making paradigm. So if you moved homes, you're not going to, my point is you're still going to have at least half of your net worth tied up in real estate.
Yes.
Even when you move. And so given that, let's go ahead and just get it paid off. And like you said, on the 10-year horizon, when we sell it, they'll hand you a check at the closing table. You use that to buy your next property. But we've got a paid-for place to live heading towards, our golden years. And that does something. I'll tell you something else as a business owner it does. It changes the way you make decisions. And I know it's a very small percentage of your world, the $300,000 debt, but when it's zero, it just, you'll make different decisions at the business. It's weird. It sets you free in a good way, and in other ways, it makes you more careful, and because you don't ever want to be back in debt, kind of thing. And so, I want to give that to you as a really good 3 to 5 year goal to knock that thing on out. Good question. Thanks for joining us. Justin's with us in Lexington, Kentucky. Hi, Justin. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, it seems like we just started a couple months ago doing your whole plan. I just found out about you, and it was actually due to my wife's godmother taught me about you and showed me your station. Well, we've already completed this first step and knocked out the $1,000. However, we're about to start really tackling the debt, and it seems like it's hard for me to sit down with my wife on a budget and try to figure out how we can attack it the best that we can. As you say, as gazelle intense, I want to attack it and really go at it, but she kind of really doesn't want to go at it that hard.
What is it that she doesn't want to give up that you want her to give up?
She's wanting to be able to go out to eat a lot more often than I have budgeted.
Okay. And that's the big
And then, of course, we do have a daughter, too, and she wants to buy her toys here or there, which is fine because I've got it budgeted for that, too. It just seems like she's wanting to do it a little more often than what I'm allowing in it.
So how much is budgeted for toys?
We have a miscellaneous fund that goes towards either eating out or Atlantis toys, and that runs to $125 a month.
Okay, you need to split that apart.
Okay.
We need to have a toy budget, and we need to have an eating out budget. They don't need to both be miscellaneous. Okay. And so it's very clear what we're spending on toys, and it's very clear what we're spending on eating out. And so what you did is you put all the things she wanted to do under one gross lump sum fund, so you can just gripe about that the whole time. This is not a good plan, dude.
Okay.
How much debt have you got?
Without the house, we're about $51,000.
And what's it on?
It's on a truck, a car, a Harley, and a $5,000 loan at my house.
And how much do you owe on the truck?
$20,000.
And what do you owe on the car?
$9,000.
Okay. And what do you owe on the Harley?
$20,000.
Okay. A little difficult for you to gripe at her about toys when you're sitting on a $20,000 toy.
Well, I discussed it with her. I wanted to sell the Harley.
I think you need to
keep it for vacation purposes.
Yeah, great. Rent you a bike on vacation. You're $20,000 in debt on toys, and you won't buy your baby toys. Bad idea. No. Let's get the bike up for sale. Probably your truck too, honestly. But I didn't ask your household income. But see, the deal is you're messing with her stuff on nickel and dime, and you're sitting there on a pile of gold in the garage. Over the years, I've seen so many families suffer by not having life insurance. It's not that they didn't care. It's just that they didn't know. So they did nothing. That's a huge mistake. Listen, term life insurance is the only way to go. It's not complicated. and it's not expensive. Please go to ZanderInsurance.com or call 800-356-4282 and get the info you need to take care of your family. Trust me, taking these simple steps will let your family know how much you care. 800-356-4282. From the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Eric and Valerie are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, Dave, How are you? Happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome. Where are you from?
We're from Bakersfield, California.
Very cool. Well, all the way to Nashville.
Quite a road trip.
Yeah. Oh, that's a road. Man, I flew it last night. It's a long flight. It's a longer drive. Oh, my goodness. Welcome, y'all. Good to have you. So you're here to do a debt-free screen.
That we are.
And how much have you paid off?
We paid off $132,000 in 14 months.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
A little north of 150.
Okay, very good. Very cool. So what kind of debt was the $132,000?
This was a cabin we have in the mountains. It was our last debt. In the late 90s, we were introduced to Crown Ministries.
Right.
And took that once and led that a couple of times and picked up some good principles from
good people
from that and sort of out-earned our stupidity for a number of years, but still managed to buy some gently used cars and do things pretty okay. And then in 2014, we sold a rental house. Actually, I'll back up a little bit. In 2006, we financed this cabin 100%. Pulled a bunch of equity out of our house and bought this dream cabin. And fast forward to 2014, we sold a little rental house we had and paid off our primary residence, and things were looking good. Valerie retired in early 15 and started working casual to take care of our grandkids, and then came the thing called the podcast, and I stumbled on you and thought we make too much money to not have anything left, so we jumped in with both feet and went to the library, of course, and checked out Total Money Makeover. I've since bought several copies, so we're square.
Thank you. The library is legal.
Yes, it is. Valerie read Total Money Makeover as well, and we took off on this journey. We hit the ground running. So.
Wow, very cool. So you must have had a little bit of savings that you threw at this.
We did. After paying off our home, we started just stacking extra cash and didn't really know what we were going to do with it. And when I stumbled on you, I said, I know what to do with this. And we funded our emergency fund fully and set some money aside for our youngest son to go to college and threw every bit of the rest of it at this house, or at this cabin. And then I got out the mortgage calculator, and Valerie and I started figuring how much we could throw at it to cover it in the shortest amount of time possible. And like you said, it went a little quicker. It didn't take quite as long as we thought it would, and we were gazelle intense.
So what's this little cabin worth?
A couple hundred.
Okay. Yeah. What's your personal residence worth?
Oh, somewhere $450, somewhere in that range.
Okay. Very cool. Good for you guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Valerie, how's it feel to have all that behind you?
Very good.
Very good. So you were probably for this all along.
Yeah. I was the one that took care of the checkbook until you came along, and he started looking at it and wondered how I did it all these years.
Oh, good. So you got some appreciation out of this.
Yeah.
Long overdue. Yeah. All right. Well, good. Good for you guys. Congratulations. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is? Because you got out of consumer debt years ago with Crown Ministries. We did. And then you paid, you had a reset and a relook with our podcast and with the Total Money Makeover. So what are the keys to getting out of debt?
Well, every dollar budgeting tool was crucial, and staying out of the left side of Costco was crucial. I went for this whole 14 months. I didn't allow myself to go on the left side of Costco. We just stayed on the food side.
So is that where the tools are?
Yeah, all the good stuff's
all
on the
good
left
stuff.
side. Electronics and tools.
The electronics and tools are on the good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and staying off Bud's Gun, all those, staying off that the internet and keeping that allowance tight.
I love it. That's fun. I can tell who the spender is between you two.
You got it.
Very good. Well, congratulations,
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
So you're 100% debt-free. How's that feel?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, way to go, you guys.
I
Well done.
sent you a picture of our grandkids sitting on their paid-for grass.
Ah,
So
love
that
it.
grass does feel different, and we get home,
Love
we'll
it.
go rake some paid-for pine needles in the
Oh,
mountain.
yeah. So this is the cabin in the mountain. I see the picture on the video channel. Yeah, very good. It's a nice place.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Nicer now.
Yeah, very well done. All right, we got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Retire Inspired, and that'll take you to the next chapter in your story, which is to complete the process to being millionaires. You may already be there. I don't know what your 401k savings is at this point, but you're pretty close or over probably. So, but well done, you guys. Very
Thank you.
well done, and proud of you. Very good stuff.
You've
All right.
inspired us.
It's Eric and Valerie, $132,000 paid off in 14 months, making $150,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. Thanks be to God, we're debt-free.
There we go. There we go. Well done, you guys. That is fun. You know, we surveyed our listeners back in December, and tens of thousands of you answered the survey. Thank you for that, by the way. And we learned the most common way that people discover the Dave Ramsey Show. How do you think it is? You. Word of mouth. So thank you. Thank you for telling your friends and family about the show and about the podcast and the iHeart channel and your local radio station. Because of you, we're about 13 million listeners every week. And another great thing we learned is that 9 out of 10 of you are actually working the baby steps. That's more than 90% of you. The people that answered the survey, anyway. Now, I guess if you're not doing the baby steps, you might not have been as likely to answer the survey. So it might be a little off, right? But an amazing number of you are actually doing the baby steps. That means you're doing this stuff. You got the motivation. You know, there's a lot of ways to watch this show, a lot of ways to listen to this show. It's on YouTube, live streamed every day. Hey, YouTubers. And that's got a pretty cool, like, on-running thread of chat room right beside it as part of that. That's pretty cool. And you can find that at DaveRamsey.com. You can find all the different ways to listen to the show. I mean, there's everything. You know, what you can listen on your Android. You can listen on iTunes with a podcast, either one. And it was a Google Play is the Android one, right? And, you know, there's just, of course, satellite radio, XM, and Sirius, both, right? And the Ramsey app for your iPhone or iPad where you watch the show. Some people use it to listen to the show. Of course, the podcast. And, of course, there's 583 radio stations. And by far, the most of you listen that way. That's, of course, by far the largest way that people consume this show. But we appreciate you. And obviously, a bunch of you are doing the stuff. 90% of you are working a baby step. That's pretty neat. That's more than just casual listening. That's active, engaged. I'm getting some information here that I'm using to change my life. And that's what you're saying when you say that. So very good. Very proud of you guys. And thanks for all of you being out there. It's when we look back on all the years of struggle to get this show syndicated and to get radio stations to carry the show and the years of struggle dealing with all the different parts of broadcasting a show, it's 25 years we've been doing this. And getting ready to be 25. We'll celebrate our 25th anniversary this summer. And, you know, it's just to step back and look and go, there's 13 million of you out there every day. That's pretty stinking cool. And a lot of you listening a lot of different ways and watching a lot of different ways. So thank you. Thanks for hanging out. But most of all, thanks for telling other people, because 90% of you said what 90%? It was the number one way that people find out about the show is a friend told them. Somebody, a family member told them. Somebody told them. That's the number one way. So tell somebody about us today. We appreciate it. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. you haven't heard, April is Financial Literacy Month, and we have a high school curriculum that is taught in 34% of America's high schools called Foundations in Personal Finance. Dave Ramsey's Foundations in Personal Finance. Over 3 million students have now graduated from that class. Very, very exciting. And by the way, if you haven't checked out the $58,000 giveaway at our website, you should be. The Financial Literacy Challenge. High school students should all go there. We're giving away 4 $10,000 scholarships, plus a bunch of other gifts and some other scholarships as well. You have to take a little survey and a little quiz, on financial literacy quiz, because we want to see how your high school students are doing. And then you're automatically signed up, no purchase necessary. And we'll do a drawing for those 4 $10,000 scholarships for high school seniors, a $5,000 and a $2,000 also, and a bunch of giveaways for the undergraduates or the underclassmen as well. Mention all of this because Elizabethtown High School from Kentucky is visiting us today. We've got a group of their students here that have been through the class curriculum, and Abby is with that group with a question. Hi, Abby.
Hello.
How can I help today?
So we had a question. It's, what advice would you give young people in choosing a college they really want to go to versus a college they could better afford?
Well, you need to go somewhere that you can pay for. If you can't pay for it, it's off the table. I mean, it's like picking out a car. If you can't, I would rather have a new Mercedes than I would a used pickup, right? Mm-hmm. But if you can't afford one, you can't afford one.
Yes.
So you buy something that you can afford to pay for, and if your budget is unlimited, then you pick out something you just like. That's great. But most people don't have an unlimited budget, and the number one cause of student loan debt is simply people choosing to go to a school that they can't afford. And so if you can't figure out a way to pay cash for it, it's off the table as a choice. Then we look between the other ones we can afford to pay cash for and the ones we're looking to go, that we want to choose the one out of that we like the best. And then I would challenge you with your parents and maybe with your good foundations teacher here to sit down and ask yourself the question, what is it about that school that you like the best? And it needs to be like a real grown-up reason to go to school there. Too many times people pick a school because they like the trees on the campus, or they like their parents went there, or whatever. I had one lady tell me she wanted to go to a school because the town had pretty houses in it. This is a dumb reason to go to a college, okay? Really dumb. So you need to pick out a university or a school because it has a field of study that you want to study. They're good at teaching in that field of study, and other logical, reasonable reasons, and get some people walking with you and listen to them that have made mistakes on picking a college and that kind of thing. So, but Abby, it's the most important element of avoiding student loan debt, picking a school that you can afford. It's the number one thing people violate because they just seem to ignore whether or not they have the money to go, and they borrow themselves into oblivion. And it's the difference in being in debt $100,000 at 25 years old or not, is your school choice. So it's a big deal. So really, really good question. Thanks for representing the class and asking that.
Thank you.
It's good to have you today.
You.
Open phones this hour. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Andres is with us in Puerto Rico. Hi, Andres. How are you?
How are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Great. I just can't follow up that question from that girl. I actually have student debt. I'm $68,000 into debt, and I want to know should I consolidate all the loans, or should I choose which repayment method should I choose?
Well, the repayment method you want to choose is the one that gets you out of debt the fastest.
All right.
How fast can I get out of debt? What's your household income?
$70,000.
Okay. And so $68,000 should be gone easily in 3 years.
All right.
All right. And given that, if you were to consolidate, do you get a better interest rate or not? Putting them all in one lump sum and having one payment does not change the math at all. The only thing that changes the math is a lower interest rate. In other words, if you have 3 loans that equal $68,000 and the aggregate interest rate on those is 7%, and you take out one loan for $68,000 that has an aggregate interest rate of 7% or an interest rate of 7%, you gained 0 ground. You broke even, but now you got 1 check to write. Well, whoopee, that's not a big deal. You can write 3 checks; it won't break your fingernail. And so, the interest rate is what matters. And if you're going to consolidate, then what you want to do is make sure you take a fixed rate loan only. And again, the interest rate needs to be lower than the weighted average interest rate or the aggregate interest rate of your group of loans that you have now. And that's the only reason to consolidate. And let me just tell you from experience, most of the time you can save a tiny bit on interest by consolidating, but it really doesn't matter. What matters is that you have to beat this thing with a stick. I mean, like $2,000 a month towards this thing. And that's what makes it go away. It's not the interest rate, and it's not the consolidation process. That's the deal. Open phones this hour. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We are glad you are with us. Kristen is with us in Fort Worth, Texas. Hey, Kristen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I have a question. I am 25 years old, and I'm currently going to school for medical assisting, which make about $30,000 a year. School costs $20,000. Currently, I've used $5,000 of that. I'm debating whether changing my course, reevaluating what I'm deciding, and going for nursing. They make about $70,000 a year, and I can pay for the school outright. So I won't have any debt, but nursing is very, it's not guaranteed that you can get in. So I'm kind of curious to see what your thoughts are on that.
Okay, so you are studying currently to be an MD?
MA, medical assistant. Yes.
Oh, a medical assistant.
Yes, sir.
And that is going to put you into debt, but studying nursing is not.
Yes.
And one more time, what does an MA typically make?
I think $30,000 a year.
So they make less than nurses.
Yes.
So you can spend less money, not go in debt, and make more money.
Yeah, I know the math makes sense to go into nursing. I'm more concerned about my emotional well-being, seeing as that it's not a guaranteed thing to get into nursing.
Get into nursing? You mean get into nursing school?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you got your undergrad finished to get into nursing school?
I have 3 classes that I need to take to be able to take the entrance exam.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And where are you in the MA process?
I'm currently in my, I'm about halfway through my 2nd semester. When I started listening to your show,
What would happen if you took a semester off and took the 3 classes and then sat for your boards? If you can't, or sat for the nursing, try to get in nursing school. If you can't get in nursing school, you could always go back to MA, right?
Yes.
Okay. And if your emotional well-being has to do with you getting into nursing school, I think you just apply to a lot of nursing schools. Is your grades pretty good?
Yeah, I have a 4.0.
What's your worry about getting into nursing school?
Being 25, I've been out of high school for a while, and there's 2 entrance tests that I have to take, and I'm kind of concerned about the math portions of them.
You have a 4.0.
Yeah.
I think you're a worry ward.
Okay. Thank you.
I think you're smarter than you give yourself credit for. I have a feeling you're going to ace this whole thing and go straight in like a sail. That's my guess. That's what I think. And nursing gives you a lot more options and a whole lot of different angles that you can do, and obviously a better income. I don't know much about medical assistant, but that's what you're telling me. And I'm a big fan of nursing as a choice for a career for a lot of different reasons, so I'm going to probably push you that way. As long as it's something that will give you joy to do it, of course. This is The Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's James Childs, producer of The Dave Ramsey Show, and this hour of the show is over. Thanks for making us the 3rd largest talk radio show in the nation. You're one of 12 million weekly listeners on 575 stations. Find a station near you at daveramsey.com.
Hey, guys, this is Dave Ramsey reminding you to catch the Dave Ramsey Show live on our YouTube channel weekdays